Oh, hello, my wonderful broskis and broskies, beautiful broskis and broskies of the wonderful, beautiful Maverick Nation. Are you ready for some Ultraman? Are you ready for some My Hero Academia? Are you ready for some what ifery? What if Izuku was Ultraman up in his house? Woo! 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 Nature Boy. uh, that actually does kind of give me an idea for a what if. I already have two more ideas already. Damn it! What the hell is wrong with me? Why does my brain want me to do shit? Like, why does my brain tell me to do such weird shit? I have so many ideas coursing through my brain right now, but I told you guys that I was gonna do it after I did the whole thing. Uh, uh, Basically, after I did this, so basically, I don't really know everything about Ultraman's freaking powers. So I'm just going to say that his power set is basically going to be like his move set. His power set is basically going to be like off from Izuku. Yeah, like if Izuku thinks that he can fly, like he'll be able to fly. Of course, that's a thing. And he can, like, eventually he'll be able to contact, you know Nebula M78, I think was the name of the nebula, and contact the Ultras, you know just in case some kaiju shit starts happening. And, well, basically I'm gonna have it to where, like, seeing as bleh, Ultraman and Izuku's minds are, like, in sync, to where, like, Izuku's the new Ultraman. Since Izuku's the new Ultraman, he has all the Ultra powers that he could ever think about. Like, if he's thinking about something like, kind of like if you wanted to do that attack like Zone Fighter, I believe his name's Zone Fighter, whenever he was fighting Gigan, and he shot that thing out from his head. It was like a head missile. It just came out through his head, or like a laser beam missile thing. Just shoot. And I could, like, allow him to, like, I could, like, say, like, Zone Fighter may be related to the Ultras in one way or another. I could even have Zone Fighter make an appearance. But who knows? I could have Jet Jaguar make an appearance. That's more likely to happen than Zone Fighter, trust me. It's probably a lot more likely to happen than Zone Fighter making an appearance. I'm not saying that he won't make an appearance, I'm just saying that Jet Jaguar appearing in this what if is a lot more likely than Zone Fighter appearing. I'm not saying that he's not going to appear at all. I'm just saying that, Jet Jaguar is a lot more likely to make an appearance in this what if than Zone Fighter. Anyways, so basically, Izuku has all these powers that he's thinking about, and, some of it would probably come true, some of it probably won't come true, maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Really, at this point. Basically, Izuku's, like, first day at UA, he walks in through the giant ass door, and he sees, like, freaking Ida and freaking Kachan, Bakugo, fighting. like, he walks in right at the moment where Bakugo says something about a stick being up Ida's ass, and just it's just freaking like Ultraman is just laughing inside of Izuku's mind. He's like laughing his ass off at that comment, and Izuku's just like he's like thinking in his mind maybe like he has the ultra powers, just like but the suit increases them, and to test it out, he literally like shifts his hand in front of Bakugo's face, and it smacks him all the way into the window. Not to the point where he falls off and dies, but he's dangling like damsel in distress. And Izuku's like, oh, that's how powerful I am. So yeah, it's basically like he has like power surging throughout all of his body. So if he like sends any of that power and like increases it, like tries to omit it out through like a movement, he may not have known that he was actually doing it. That's what he was doing. And Izuku now knows this. He's just like, okay. And then he's also like, well, what else can I do? And he just like focuses his sight on Kachan. And then he has like these beams that shoot out at Kachan and start lifting him up in the air like telekinesis beams. And basically the beams come a little bit closer to Izuku, but not close enough to where Bakugo could hit him with an explosion. Or at least if he like Bakugo tries to hit him with an explosion, and then Izuku's like, okay then. And then he just shoots his arm out like this, and then like a big protective barrier is formed around him, and it actually knocks the explosion back into Bakugo. And he's hanging on the thing again, damsel in distress again. And so more telekinesis beams. And Izuku was just like, so we're gonna do this all day or what? Are you gonna learn from your own mistakes or what? And Aizawa was just like, what the frick? Why is one of the windows broken? And he's just like, am I on drugs? What the hell just happened? And Bakugo's like, Izuku did it. And he just like night night, night night, bitch, nighty night, bitch. And it's like, boom, bitch, get out the way, boom, get out the way. And so yeah, that's a thing. And Aizawa is like trying to like his eyes start to glow red, and he's like attempts to like take away Izuku's like quirk, whatever he must have done in order to like freaking fling Bakugo out of the freaking thing like flubber. And Izuku's like, oh, okay then. I see what you're trying to do here. You're trying to take away my quirk. Sorry, Teach, but it's not a quirk. And as I was like, that's bullshit. How could a quirkless kid get into this school? And Izuku's like, oh, so you're trying to racially profile me now. I could just tell that to Principal Nesu. And as I was like, please don't. Okay, I'm sorry, just please don't. I don't want him to get all mine on my ass. And Izuku's then like, then take this as a future, like a note for the future. Don't racially profile people. Don't like profile people based on like their shit and the shit that they don't have. Like, so yeah, stop that. Just nobody do that. Nobody do that. And as I was like, yeah, that's probably a thing everyone should take note of. Nobody do that. And then Bakugo's just like, you damn nerd. And then Aizawa just like like freaking alpha swipes him like Segata Sanshiro bullshit with his scarf and just flips him like a flip flops him like a pancake. And and like Bakugo's like, please stop the torture. And Izuku's like, you know, Izuku's just like, okay then. And then, he just uses the telekinesis laser beams that come out of his eyes to like put Bakugo, like force him into his seat. And for some reason, it's almost like there's magnetism to it as well. Because he like turns like Bakugo and Bakugo's seat into like magnets. They're like at the opposite end, so they're stuck to each other, and it just forces Bakugo to sit in his seat. So yeah, he not only has psychic eye beams, but he can like fuse it with like magnetism eye beams, or just use magnetism eye beams. But he basically fused the psychic energy with like magnetism energy, and just did that to make like force Bakugo to sit in his seat. He forced a mother trucker, and Izuku's just like, well, that's that. And as I was like, please undo that because we're about to do a quick apprehension test. And Izuku's like, and if you're thinking I'm going to ask why we aren't going to orientation, I really don't care. And Aizawa was like, oh, okay then. Okay, one of my students has balls. He has big balls. And it's just like all throughout the rest of the day, it's just like quick apprehension test. And first one to have to go up is Izuku because of all that crazy shit he showcased. And apparently he's telling everyone he's quirkless. But he was able to do that to Bakugo. And the freaking window. Aizawa doesn't even want to know how that happened to the window. Like, he doesn't even want to know the story to that. And basically, as I was like, and before you ask, I do want you to use your powers for the throw. Because usually that's usually the only thing I actually cover on these. But I actually might cover several things. Like, I know that there's a throwing thing, like throwing the ball, and then there's the race, and there's like sidestepping, which, Ultraman, he is an Ultraman. He would probably be good at sidestepping. Just saying. And, so that's pretty true. Like, Izuku gets pretty good score on the sidestep. And before we even get into the race, like, actually, we should probably get to the race before we do the throw. Oh, and I also remember the gripping contest. Yeah, let's get into the gripping contest. Like, the whole gripping thing. The grip, Izuku not only is an ultra sidestepper, but he's an ultra gripper. He can, like, how strong does he think he can be? Like, he's like thinking, how strong could I possibly be? I mean, like, I am like in this Ultraman form, or like I could go into the Ultraman form, but how strong can I be normally? And so, like, automatically, like, the freaking whatever sort of gripping thing that they were using just implodes automatically whenever Izuku. He barely is even able to try to grip before it just implodes automatically and on itself. And Aizawa was just like, oh, oh my. Holy shit. This kid is. I better make sure I'm not taking drugs by the end of this. And now we're gonna get to the race portion because I want to do the throwing portion last. Whenever it's time to go all racing, like do the racing, you know, Izuku would be like, "What would it be like to fly?" But not as Ultraman, like just fly normally. And then all of a sudden, all like just like there's like skid marks, so they know like there was some traction, so they know that he flew. But they're like, how? It seems more like he teleported because before any of them can even see like they can even see the finish line before they can even see it. He's already there, and he's like, he even has like freaking. It's like it took you like a million years. Like he has like the old man voice. Like he is literally like cracking Ultraman up. Ultraman and Izuku are cracking each other up, and Izuku is just like you know, it's just they're cracking each other up, and Bakugo's like, damn nerd, and he's about to throw one of his explosions, and then Izuku's like, hold on there for a minute, and then he uses his eye beams, and he uses the magnetism ones, and he basically tries like some sort of magnetism to where he can like shape and mold like his explosion into like a ball. Teach, I don't need a ball, I already got something. He literally molded one of Bakugo's explosions into a ball. Like just a ball for him to throw. And Aizawa isn't gonna question that shit. No, Aizawa. It's just the more that the dude thinks about it, the more his head hurts. And so basically, whenever Izuku gets to like throwing, he throws the big magnetized explosion ball, and he throws it, and he's like, "Okay." Like Aizawa was like, "Wait, something's wrong. I think my phone's malfunctioning." And then Izuku just turns around, and everybody's like, "Why is he turning around?" And then automatically he catches the ball. It literally went like so fast that it went beyond like the universal limits of like existence, and then came back into his hand from the other side, like some sort of vortex. Like it rips like some sort of vortex open, and then it came through the other side, and that's why Izuku turned around because he was gonna catch it. And it's just like Aizawa was like, he's just like, he can't even comprehend what Izuku just did there. And then he proceeds to crush it. Like, and like Aizawa was like, uh, I I don't even think what you did there is physically or like laws of physics physically possible. I don't even think what you just did there is actually possible. Like that any normal human being, quirkless or not, could ever do in like the history of anything and everything. Like legit, like what the actual it's guys, I was just like I I don't even what what is this? And Izuku's like, well, remember whenever I told you I was quirkless? Well, I have a power. It's just not a quirk. And as I was like, could continue. He's like interested, but he's also terrified out of his mind. He's like, continue. It's called Ultra Force. It's called the Ultra Force. It's like the Speed Force. Like it's basically what I'm gonna do here is like the Speed Force, only it's the Ultra Force. You know how Wally West was actually able to like kill, like destroy the concept of death. Yeah, that actually happened once. That happened. Wally West was able to destroy the concept of death. And he's the fastest Flash so far, I believe. Like, Barry comes close, and then there's Wally is supposed to be the fastest Flash. I like the fastest iteration of the character. Wally West is supposed to be the fastest Flash. And so basically, instead of calling it the Speed Force, Izuku calls it the Ultra Force because, all of that. So basically, he just draws like he explains it as like instead of like a force of speed that he's able to draw from to like become faster that he can like access. It's a force of like basically he's himself, but he's like ultra warrior. Like he is literally the exact definition of ultra, of being ultra and ultra. Like, Ultraman, Ultra 7, like he himself, without even having to go into the Ultraman form, is an Ultra. And just that feat alone, just that feat alone, is absolutely freaking insane. Like, not even having to be in, like, the Ultraman form, and you're still considered an Ultra because of just how powerful you are. Yeah, it's safe to say that Izuku already being considered an Ultra because of just the fact that he has, like, their level of power, even without having to actually go into the Ultraman form. The Ultraman form just, like, boosts it's like it's ultra on top of ultra. It's like ultra times two. And Aizawa is like ultra times two. Like Izuku even explained what the ultras are basically and where they're from. He explained everything. And why he calls this power the Ultra Force. Because like all of the ultras are like connected in some way, I think. Or if they aren't, I'm gonna say they are. And at the center of it all is this person, like Zoffy, Zophie, whatever the frick their name is. At the center of it all is that Ultra, that specific Ultra. And Izuku himself, without even having to go into like the Ultra form, is already Ultra, like is already at Ultra level. You know, it's just Aizawa is like racking his brain. He's just like, okay, I'm going to have to take this up with Principal Nesu and All Might and the other pro heroes, but uh, this is. I don't know if this is good or bad, but I honestly cannot tell Izuku if this is leaning more towards good or more towards bad. And Izuku actually tells him, about the whole ultras being able to fight off kaijus that would, bring disorder to the world. And so yeah, the ultras are basically like the perfect tool to like fight off evil kaiju because not all kaiju are evil, like inherently evil, but some are inherently evil or like are being manipulated to be inherently evil. Kind of like the thing with the Space Hunter Nebula M and what they did to Gigan. Like they manipulated him to basically be their kaiju slave. And the thing with the Martians and how they manipulated like King Ghidorah. And the freaking like the underground people, they have Megalon at their disposal. And whenever Izuku mentions like underground people, like Aizawa is like, wait, what? Um, is there any chance that any of the underground civilization or Megalon are actually still alive? And Izuku's like, I wouldn't want to put that worry on anyone's shoulders, but yes, they are. Because, he's able to talk to Zolfi or Zoffy or whatever, but he specifically, like, told, like, whoever Zoffy or Zophie is, like, not to, like, bring and, like, freaking into, like, the conversation. Basically told, like, uh, told them not to bring Ultra 7 into the conversation because, he's fused with Ultraman, and Ultraman and Ultra 7 do not get along. And, Zolfi, whatever, was, respectful. And, if this person is ultra level before they can even, like, go into the ultra form, if they're already ultra level before that, you know, respect is to, you know, just respect their wishes. That's what Zophie, whatever, is thinking. Respect this person's wishes. They're very powerful, and, like, you wouldn't want to make them an enemy if they're that strong before they even go into the Ultraman form. And, Zophie, whatever, would also want to ask how Ultraman is doing. And Izuku would just be like, he would assure Zophie, whatever, is like freaking that Ultraman is perfectly fine. Because he's perfectly fine. And as Ultraman said, because of their whole link, he is technically Ultraman. Like, Ultraman is Ultraman, and he's Ultraman. So, yeah, that's a lot of Ultramans. And he also told Zophie, whatever, about the fact that he told Aizawa about the whole underground civilization that have a giant monster that if, like, the underground people got pissed off again, they would basically just sick on the entire world, like the entire populace. And, like Izuku specifically states that monsters of Megalons, like caliber, monsters of Megalon's caliber, of that, like, amount of, like, clout, are, like, just to not, like, even bother. Like, you're already screwed if you piss people off with that powerful of a monster, with that powerful of a kaiju. And, Zophie or whatever, they're basically just like, consult them before you say anything else. Like, because that's, like, very delicate information. And, like, if, like, the natural populace actually knew about the underground civilization still existing, that could start out some really bad shit, really bad problems. Like, like, literally, like, fear, hysteria, mass amounts of that all throughout the world, not just Japan. Like, if they knew about the fact that Megalon's still there, and the underground civilization, which actually sicked Megalon on Japan before, is still there and alive and well, not exactly well in the head, but, to sick a freaking giant monster on, like, the other side. And, it's just like, Izuku's just like, uh, Zoffy, whatever, you mind, uh, uh, me asking you a question? And Zoffy, or whatever, is like, shoot it, shoot. And Izuku's just like, I've heard of things like another name for a civilization of kaijus, several kaijus, as deep or maybe even deeper than just the underground civilization we know of, or at least I knew of. and it's called the Hollow Earth. Is it all true? Everything that's said? And Zofi whatever basically explains it's all true. Everything is true. Like, that's all true. Everything, like, you should be scared of that shit because if, Godzilla felt like it, since, Godzilla could be a thing, like, if we're going by MonsterVerse logic, he could definitely be a thing. So, seeing as how Hollow Earth is a thing in this what if, and like, you know, the underground civilization and Megalon are a part of that, like, not really deep down, but deep down enough, you know, that just, it does not make it easy for Izuku to sleep at night knowing about that, knowing about the fact that the Hollow Earth does exist and that it's all true. And it's just like, oh, it really hurts his sleep. And Ultraman's just like, we can take them. Whatever they try to pull, we can take them. And Izuku's like, one of them is known as the King of the Monsters. It's just, I don't want to have to start a fight that could get millions of lives killed, Ultraman. And Ultraman's just like, dude, remember what I said about confidence? Like positive mental attitude, PMA? You can't let this get you down. Now, tomorrow is going to be a good day. And that is where I'm going to end off this what if. With basically Ultraman doing his best to reassure Izuku that everything's going to be alright. Everything's not going to be all dandy in Kansas. We aren't in Kansas anymore, Toto. Anyways, that's basically where I'm going to leave this off because the Dark basically Alan Ziana Douses because the Dark Shadow Maverick is OUT out. Bye.